Hey man, welcome back to Man Time. Today's episode, I have got a big chainsaw on the bench here that doesn't have spark. Let's see if we can fix that. Welcome to Man Time. So I got these two big Husqvarna, what are they? 3120 XPs. I got two of them for half of the price of one, or no, I got two for a quarter of the price of a new one. I got a pretty good deal on them. The one that I'm looking at right now, I thought it had a blown cylinder, rings out, bad piston, something like no compression, right? And and I pulled the decomp out to make sure. And anyways, I got in here just to look at it. I actually ordered a new cylinder for it. They've actually got a highway one for a 3120. I thought, what the hell? I'll just tear into this one that was supposedly the part saw for this other one and take a look at it. Turns out the spark plug wasn't in there, and it's not getting any spark. So we'll troubleshoot, diagnose, and I'll bring you in here to look at what I'm going to go through to figure out why it doesn't have any spark, and the process you go through to alleviate that problem. Let's do it. So here's the deal. Here's how I found the saw when I opened up the top cover. Spark plug was in there, and it was just laying like that or down there somewhere. No air cover, cleaner. I'm gonna have to really go through this saw. But anyways, putting this spark plug in the boot against the case here, pulling it over, no spark. So the first thing I did was try a different spark plug. So it's rare that spark plugs go bad, but that could have been the deal. Same deal, pulled it over, new spark plug, no spark. Okay. So what's next? So there's the start-stop switch, right? It's actually broken. You can see through there, and it was kind of falling apart and stuff too. So I don't trust this one, but what you can do there is just disconnect the wire going to this, because what this is doing, it's taking the wire from the coil to ground to make it stop. That's what happens when you're pushing the stop button there. So if you disconnect it and just let it dangle, out here in the middle of nowhere, it is it's the same thing as being on in the on position, and you've essentially bypassed the start-stop switch. Still no luck. Pulled it over with the new plug, no spark. There was one thing I saw right here. The spark plug wire is pinched right there, and then so digging a little bit deeper. If you're going to replace the spark plug wire, you've got to take your pull start cover off. That's this piece on the side here. That comes off, and then there's this underneath of it. 4 bolts to get that off, and then that pops out of the way. And then you've got coil right here. So right here is a coil. Looks like we got 3 Allen head bolts holding this one in. And let me clean these out and get an Allen head and get these removed, and then we'll get this coil. Oh, look at there. Yeah, I've got about an hour before the rain hits, but it looks like we have a pretty severe problem right there already. This thing is pinched, way pinched. How did that get pinched like that? Anyway, we're going to take this off of there. So we're going to really systematically kind of go through this process here. Try to get this up here. So next we want to ohm out the wire and make sure that it is doing what it's supposed to be doing before we start attacking this coil. Now these coils, I have seen them go bad. Typically there's a whole lot of rust and stuff going on to make that happen, where it starts jacking apart. But we'll take this off, take that off, and again, this should be a fairly quick repair. I am assuming I can get it done within the hour before the rain hits. So all we're going to do is stick a deal in there, shoot. Good continuity. Well, at that point, I mean, there's really only one thing it can be, which is the coil. We've checked the plug, we've checked the wire. Well, I definitely didn't beat the rain, but here's what we got. It looks like the coil wire was always meant to come through here, and it is routed up and around in this plastic here. I mean, there's a direct route for it through there and then up and through here. It looks like it will probably work like this. I haven't tested it, but we'll see here in a second. So with that in there, shoot. Well, it's pretty taut, and maybe that's why it was routed kind of a different way. But let me try it like this. I'm going to get this recoil cover back on here, and then we'll give it a shot. We got it all back together. We've troubleshot everything except the coil. Still no spark. Alright, well, it's not always a happy ending, but sometimes that's the way it goes. Rain's kicking back up. I need a new coil. If you go through that troubleshooting process, the only thing left to replace there is the coil. So there you go. Get out there, have you some man time too. Alright, as an update here, so this has this really interesting 3-bolt coil. And they replaced this one soon after, I think in 2000, 2002, 2003, something like that, with a 61272 coil, which I have in here, which is a good and known working coil. So now, let's take this off and try it. You can see that? I got shocked. She's sparking. Okay, so this was good. All the wiring was good. We checked all that. This is the bad part here. So I found our problem. I don't know if you can see inside of there very well, but it is completely scored. And in the muffler there was a big chunk of metal. So yeah, that's probably why it wouldn't run. I mean, it is completely scored. I don't even know if there's going to be any rings left in there. So the cylinder kit that I bought is not going to go to waste. Alright, man. I am rapidly running out of light here. This is going to turn into a whole thing, but there's how you evaluate and troubleshoot your coil up until the point where you just have to get a new coil. So this one wouldn't fire off there because the cylinder is completely scored. There was metal chunks floating around in the muffler, which tells me that it's catastrophic. Hopefully the bottom end is okay, and all I need is a jug piston ring, and we'll be able to put it back together because I have those parts. So stay tuned for the next episode, or a couple episodes from now, where we're going to be rebuilding this with a new piston, ring, cylinder, the whole deal. Thanks for joining me today on Man Time. Get out there, have some man time too.